Alright folks, what is up? This is One Big Bug and I am coming at you with Euro Truck Simulator 2. Today we're continuing on with our picking your first truck. And so far we've done both DAFs, the Iveco Stralis and the MAN truck. And as they rank, if you remember, the Euro 6 is still number 1. The MAN is number 2. The DAF XF is number 3. And the Stralis comes in at number 4. That brings us to our next truck. And let us go visit Majestic, or in reality, Mercedes. This will be changing in patch 1.18 as Mercedes has finally gotten on board and given SCS permission to use their name. So they got the license to use the name. So Majestic is out and Mercedes is in. Soon. Anyways, TM. So this is the truck here. It's the only one that's available. And that is the, I'm just going to call it Mercedes. I'm not calling it Majestic. Mercedes Actros Low Roof Sleeper. 4x2 low roof sleeper, left hand, 320 horsepower. Again, only 10 more horsepower than the Iveco Stralis, but like the MAN, 1650 Newton meters. 1650 Newton meters. 50 more Newton meters than the MAN truck. And it gets that at 1080 RPM. 1080 RPM. That's pretty good. That means that's where that power is, right there. It's very low in the bandwidth, so you get all that immediate grunt pull power right off the bat. Bam, there it is. Gearbox is a Power Shift G281 and it only comes with a 600 liter fuel tank as compared to everything else, which has come in around 1200, 1400, 1250, 1100. You know, so it has slightly more than half to slightly less than half the fuel capacity of other trucks. Already a strike against the Mercedes. So let's trade in and get our truck. Running a little slow today for some reason. Yes, we know. Alright, so we need to rest. See, that sounds to me a lot like the MAN. I'd actually have to compare the two. Where's the closest spot to sleep, damn it? Alright, so if I turn left and then left, follow it all the way out and go right, there's a garage that way. Okay. Always rest first. Now, I don't know if they sound exactly the same. I just know that they both sound really, really similar, which I find a little weird. Slow down a little too much. There's the traffic. I was starting to wonder. Lower gears. Thank you. And I'm going to rest again. Still not a good time. We'll rest one more time. Don't mind the rain, but okay. So, let's fire it up, back it up out of this spot, and get a little more neutral area with it. here will work. We'll shut it down. And let's get our first outside look at our Mercedes, to which I used the wrong button. Alright, so here it is, the Mercedes. It is Mercedes. I think the correct pronunciation is the Mercedes Actros, and this one's just called the Actros, because they didn't have the license. But that'll all change, and hopefully also the sound of the truck will change. Rather than just being a stock generic sound, we'll have the sound of the truck actually brought into the game. From what I understand, that is what's going on. But until then, this is what we have. When that happens, when patch 1.8 comes out and the new Mercedes comes out, if it's a beginner truck, I will tack it onto this series. I will review that truck if it's a beginner truck, and if this truck changes in any significant way, I will re-review it. If it changes only a little bit, then I'll just put up a little patch video saying this is what changed, and if it changes, it's ranking it all. So with that out of the way, taking a general look at the truck, as you can see here, I actually like to straighten the wheels out because it's actually driving me nuts. It's small. It's a small truck. The wheelbase is small. As you can see, you've only got the one fuel tank, as you got the spare tire on the other side of the truck here. The cab is low down, and it's not very wide across. The Mercedes is still a fairly stable truck for what it is, but at its size, it tends to be a little bit more unbalanced than, say, a DAF or a MAN. But it's more solid than the Iveco, although I suppose it maybe not saying a lot. It comes the original color, flat gray, basalt gray I think they call it. The front mirror on it's in a really interesting position, as you can see there. It's way over the other side, but it comes out significantly into the passenger side windshield, and it comes with a very strange sun visor. It looks a little bit out of place on the truck, but nothing too bad. Also, of course, you have the sunroof in the top. Not much more to say about the outside. The Actros has been here for a while, and it's finally getting an update, not just with the license, but the newest truck to come into the game is the new Mercedes. So, hopefully soon. But until then, this is what we have to work with. Back inside the truck. Now, despite it being blurry, you have a decent windshield view. It's pretty big, it's not narrow, it's nice, significant for everything that you need. Let's get rid of that. The mirrors, let's tackle those next. The mirrors are decent. They're pretty good. They're not too big. They're not too small. They're just a good size, and they have the flat mirror over the bubble eye on this one, with a unique setup in terms of how the mirror is cased. They give you a good view without being too huge. Unfortunately, their placement along with the front pillar gives you only a very, very narrow sight view through that area in between the pillar and the mirror there. So it's almost as bad as the Strawless when it comes to how well you can see out that area. Like, if you need to look in that direction, chances are you're not going to see things very well, if at all, to be honest. Side windows, decently sized, of course, and then you take a look at the interior, and sadly it kind of follows along with the Iveco Strawless, but not too much. But then again, keeping in mind this is more generic and not so much on Mercedes, as they didn't have the license at this time, SCS, when they made this truck. So the inside is just gray on gray again, with a strange, with a strange bit of pattern for the seats. All in all, it doesn't look bad, but it's nothing terribly exciting either. Don't know what more to say on that. As we'll take a look at the front, I accidentally turned the steering wheel. Let's fire it up. Put it in gear, or neutral at least, so that we're not beeping while I do this. The dashboard is actually really good. The tachometer is easy to read, the speedo is very easy to read, and the center console is really, really easy to read. Not the wipers, thank you. As we switch through things here, you can see the whole display changes, so fuel, consumption, and even, it's even, I did it again, it's even easy to see consumption on there. And then the oil, your oil level's okay. This is your cruise control here, thermostat. So it's all, really, really simple to see. The cockpit feels a little closed in, but not too bad. It only comes out a little bit. But you're really not going to see it too much because your view, like this, cuts out most of the curving over, so it's not a bad deal. And like most beginning trucks, I mean, so far I believe only the Euro 6s had it. It does not have an in-dash GPS. So you will have to use the floating one until you upgrade the truck, most likely. Because not every truck that you upgrade, I believe, gets a GPS, but it might. Alright. Oh yeah, one last thing I want to touch on here, and we'll get the wipers going. The front mirror in this truck is actually really good. It is way over the side, so you would have to look over to see it, but you don't have to look too far. It's just right there. It's out of the way of your straight view, so that you can see just fine. But it's, you don't have to turn too far to see it. It's not like the Iveco, or I believe even the Man, we had to like look way over here to get a good view of it. And it's actually fair sized, so that you can actually see very easily what's in front of your truck versus the other ones, which are really small, as well as being far over the side. So that made for seeing things over on your front mirror very difficult. And that's if you use it. I personally don't, but I do understand the value of it. So let's see if we can find ourselves a quick run. We are here. Oh, we get another 21 ton. That's only 187 kilometers though. 22 tons, 286, possibility. 23 tons. Actually, I'm thinking that's the trailer. Let's do it. 386 kilometers, 23 ton train. Sounds like a job to me. Lights on. It helps to have this and that up, so I know where the heck I'm going. Oh yeah, something I forgot to check on the Man. The bass horn, it's decent enough, and the Man is just about the same, because again, I believe even though they have the license for the truck, it's not the actual truck sound, so it's a little bit more generic. Hopefully the Man gets a new truck put in. They'll have the actual sounds for the Man. See, the thing is I don't know if that's the actual sounds for the truck or not. I don't believe they are, because to me the Mercedes and the Man sound very, very similar. Although, fortunately, it's a good sound. The directional's got a, nice deeper click to it. It's not really high. And the engine's got a low down grunting growl to it, which is actually pretty good. Not bad being whoosh. Don't stop like that. I'm going. I'm over the line. That counts. Oops. It's been a bit of an off day for me. I didn't get to bed till like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I got up at about 11 o'clock, so I didn't sleep very long. Mainly because I felt this like really major urge to go and shower. So I went and I showered, and it helped that like nobody was home when I went. Yep. You know, I prefer that, you know, if I can, showering when the house is empty and quiet. But be that as it may, I just didn't feel very well. I was tired. I was actually feeling a little sick. And, yeah. Boink. It's alright. We'll be able to get under the trailer here, no problem. Mercedes, due to being a slightly shorter truck, has a really good turn radius. Go. All hooked up. Look at that. Look at how easily it gets that trailer rolling. It's just got so much down low power, and that power kicks in really, really low. Now, it doesn't tell you the bandwidth, and again, I believe that has to do with the licensing issue between Mercedes and long trailer. I believe that had to do with the licensing issue between SCS and Mercedes. So hopefully all that information will change as well, and we can get more info for the Mercedes. I could actually go and check right now if I wanted to by upgrading my Steam to the beta, and I may just do that tomorrow. I don't know. You know, I'm not using any significant map mods. Damn it. One thing about this truck is it actually has really good brakes. Something I didn't really talk about the other trucks, you know, because they're all kind of the same. The Mercedes seems to be stopping like really, really short. But as you can see, it just gets up there really easily. It gets that low down grunt. So if you encounter hills, if you have a map mod and you have steep hills in the game, and you're towing a semi-heavy trailer, even a heavy trailer with the Mercedes, it will tow it. It may have to go down into the low gears, but with 1650 Newton meters at that just about 1000 RPM, you know, it'll pull it. It'll pull it really well. Now, actually, right there, I gotta be honest with you, I got that feeling that I was right on the edge of what the truck could handle in terms of speed and turning. Now, you might say, well, you know, you're hauling a really, you know, big trailer. And you're right, but it's not a really tall trailer. And it's only 1 ton heavier than what the man pulled. And the man was whipping through corners like that without a problem. Where the Mercedes, I really felt like I was on edge there. And then if I had pushed it just a little bit more, the truck would have started to go over. And I would have been fighting to regain control. You know, it really helps to don't need the lights anymore. Really helps to take into the fact that you know, it's just not the trailer's length, but the height as well. Although the length does have something to do with it. This trailer is also low to the ground once it hooks up to the truck. It's got a low midsection to it. And it's got extra axles in the back for more weight carrying and stability. So I'm not 100% sure how to put it, but I kind of feel like it's just the same as if I was towing the 22-ton trailer with the man yesterday, just 1 ton lighter. Now, sadly, the Mercedes suffers just like the man does, and in truth, a bit more. And that's when you get to the higher gears, it's going to start having trouble getting up to any significant speed. With the Mercedes, that actually tends to start around 8th gear. With the man, that started 10th gear. Lovely. Okay, so light, there's nothing over the other side. If you could just, turn green and let me go, all would be good. Anytime now. Any second. Doing a show here. Come on. Be a good boy. Light. Come on. But anyways, it does feel like the Mercedes of course. It does feel like the Mercedes suffers more in the higher gears than the man truck does. It feels right around 8th gear it starts to struggle. You see here. And then 9th gear, where the man really tended not to have this trouble until 10th gear. You can see once you get into 10th gear, the struggling is much more significant. 10th, 11th, and 12th. You're going to really be pushing yourself to gain any kind of speed at all. So sadly, it will make for getting like urgent deliveries if you haven't upgraded the engine by then. It will make getting urgent deliveries significantly more difficult, if I'm to be honest with you. I think the transmission is labeled different again because they don't have the licensing. So they really couldn't use anything about the truck. They couldn't use the Actros, so they called it the Actros. They couldn't use the actual transmission. There wasn't much they could actually use. This is going to be a somewhat long trip, unfortunately. Oops. But here, you see the advantage. 9th gear, 23 tons, uphill, and it held. It didn't drop, it didn't accelerate either, but it didn't drop. It held going up that hill, towing 23 tons pretty well. Oh, didn't make it, did you? It's kind of strange how one truck I can have a real lot to talk about, and another truck not so much. I mean, there's not much else to talk about with this truck, unless something, you know, pops to mind. It's kind of like the Man. It's a solid platform, although, to be honest, not quite as much. Boing. I did not do that. Shush. Did that hurt the truck? Well, it did now. I didn't even know there was a car behind me. That... No, honestly, it didn't. That's even like blinking yellow and I didn't see it. Well, that's embarrassing. And it just gets more embarrassing as I take a really poor corner. That's one of those things I'm like really embarrassed and ashamed that I just did that. I haven't made that mistake in a long time. And because of that, you know, while dealing with that shame, I ended up shaming myself even further by taking a terrible corner. But we shall persevere. Fortunately, that doesn't damage anything, I guess. It could be much worse. I will say that the Mercedes is getting a decent workout here. You know, plenty of country driving, so twisting, winding roads, plenty of hill climbing that it's just dealing with like a champ. Again, there's any problem with this run is either human error or, you know, human error. So I'm hoping to get a little highway time in though, because I want to show you what happens when you do get it up to speed. And getting it up to speed on back roads is not highly recommended. Alright, before I forget, there is something I want to mention. There's something I'm trying to do. I know that despite being at 720, the quality of my videos are a bit pixelated, especially when it's darker or later at night. And I feel like this game's like dark to begin with. So what I'm going to be looking to do is I'm slowly increasing the quality of the renders. Normally I render as, you know, down as far as 35%. That makes a video that usually uploads within 30 minutes and is still decent looking. Yeah, let's not have another accident, please. That would be fabulous. However, considering that I typically run the upload while I'm asleep, and then when I get up in the morning to take my dog outside and then go back to bed, I shut my computer off so it, you know, can rest and cool down. Well, if I do that, then why am I so concerned about the upload time? So what I'm doing is I'm slowly increasing the quality of the videos, looking for what I consider to be a good upload time while not making them too big to upload, you know, where they take like 4 or 5 hours. That's really what I'm looking for. So yesterday was the first increase by 5%. I upped it to 40. Today's is going to be an increase to 45, and I'm going to continue to push the render quality until I get something that I'm happy with. Apparently that truck has the new phasing technology integrated into it. This Mercedes brand does not have that, but that one apparently comes with the new phase generator that allows the truck to phase through street barriers and fences, so it can make turns better rather than having to take tight turns, be more of a nuisance, or, God forbid, crash into the wall. Radar. Lovely. More speeding tickets? Probably. I still wonder how they're going to deal with that in American Truck Simulator. Because we don't have, like I said, we don't have camera vans. We don't have camera boxes. What it may be is that you'll be passing a generic-looking police car on the road or something, and you'll get a ticket. Who knows? But it'll be interesting to find out. There'll also be the implement of way stations. I don't know. I don't think that's something they have in Europe that they have to deal with, but they're putting them in the United States because they are a thing, where your truck can only be, so heavy, and if it's heavier it needs special permits and whatnot to be so, and if your truck is found out to be too heavy, then you'll have to be paying a bunch of fines and fees, and the truck will probably be pulled off the road. Plus they can do safety inspections. Is the truck safe? Does it meet safety regulations? Alright, so far no highway, but if you had listened right there, and you can back it up if you want. Come on. Thank you. Wow, look at all the windmills. That is amazing. Just amazing. So amazing. Right, okay. But if you want, you listen. Once the Mercedes with its base transmission got up to about 100 kilometers, it kind of sounded like the engine was running a little bit to the high side, and in reality it was. You really got to push the edge of your 1500 RPM limit in order to get to 100 kilometers. And if you, like me, like to cruise at 110, or maybe you like to cruise it more, you're going to be in the yellow on the Mercedes. That's all there is to it. Matter of fact, we finally get some highway running in here. So let's take a listen as we pick up towards 100 kilometers here, which is my chosen cruising speed for new trucks in this series. Still trying for 2 more. 99. And 100. Lock it in and just listen. You hear that? That's pretty significant. Unlike the MAN truck and even the Euro 6, the MAN was down below 1500 at a fair amount. And the Euro 6 was pretty good as well. So the Mercedes with its base, I'm just going to let you go. Because I'm already, do you mind? The Mercedes is right on the edge of its 1500 limit, and if you cruise over that, you're going to be above the 1500 limit, and you're just going to be sucking gas like there's no tomorrow. That's all there is to it. And considering you only have a 600 liter fuel tank to begin with, that means far more frequent stops for fuel, which really is not a fun thing. We are almost at our destination, which is wonderful. Good news, everybody. We're almost there. Find corners, 101. Fortunately, the car is stopping significantly back. They never used to. That's been upgraded. They used to just pull right up into your trailer. Not like into it like they'd bump it or actually like, clip into the trailer. They were just keeping forward till they were almost kissing it. And you were usually left with very little choice but to crash into them, while trying to make the turn. Yeah. Ew, that was close. I took a bad turn, obviously. Narrow streets are not my friend. Alright, looks like I get the right... He pulled in front of me! Whatever. You jerk. That was not my fault. He just turned right in front of me with no disregard. Or with no regard in it. With complete disregard, I should have said. How was I supposed to do anything about that? Now, to be fair, maybe it was my fault because I don't know the traffic rules. Maybe his turning, maybe I missed the fact it was a four-way stop somehow, or I had a yield sign. To me, it looked like just a two-throughway where the other two sides were supposed to stop while I got, me and the other side got to go through. And it looked like to me that he just turned in front of me and didn't care. So I don't consider that my fault. This is not going to be fun to back into. Not going to be fun at all. Alright, let's do it. Shut up. Oh, they're still stopped over there, and I'm not there anymore. This is one of those trailers, it's so wide that it's actually really hard to see the back end point. Good. Good enough. Yeah. Good work. Whatever. Alright, so other than a couple mishaps, one of them user-generated, the other one I don't believe to be user-generated. I believe that the AI just decided to turn in front of me. Where does the majestic, quote-unquote, Mercedes stand? Well, it's a smaller chassis. Overall, it feels and looks like a smaller truck. That in itself is not terrible, but despite being slightly stronger than the man, it suffers more at higher gears than the man does. It is less balanced. It's easier to tip. There were a couple instances there where I felt I was right on the edge of what it could handle, and it was at far lower speeds than what the man was doing, with a trailer that was only 1 ton difference. It has a smaller fuel tank. Its mirrors are decent, but not as good. And it gives you that very, very narrow view between the pillar and where the mirror is. Although it has a better front mirror, that's really about it. So overall, it really doesn't stand up to the man. And there's something I need to see. I want to buy online here in comparison to the XF. 460 is not the starting engine. At least I'm pretty sure it's not. 360. Yeah. Yes. So maybe 460 is the starting engine for the DAF, but I know the starting engine to be the smaller one. It comes in also, as you've seen, weaker than the DAF, than the XF. And because of that, even though the DAF, again, has poorer sight lines than the Mercedes, the DAF is more stable. It has a more powerful engine. It has better grunt pull, and it doesn't suffer as much in the higher gears. So the Mercedes, honestly, is just one step above the Stralis. So our current standings, as I see it, is Euro 6-1, Man 2, XF 3, Mercedes, Actros 4, and the Stralis 5. But this comes with a proviso, a little asterisk up in the corner of this rating. When 1.18 comes out, we reevaluate to see if anything's changed. We go over the truck again if significant changes come, or we go over at least a little bit what the changes are if they're not significant enough. So a full review if there's significant changes, a standard, quick, this is what's different, does it affect where it stands review if it's not significant. Because 1.18 is not that far out. And like I said, I may even do that tomorrow. But as this truck stands in the vanilla version of the game that is available right now, that is not in beta, the majestic, quote-unquote, Mercedes truck is second to last. We're now at what? 1, 2, 3, 5. It comes in fourth. And there's still more trucks to go. Pardon me, swallowed wrong there. And that is going to be next, of course, the Renault. And we will be checking the Renault Premium. Renault Premium. Sadly, we won't be able to do the Renault Magnum, as this truck is not available till level 10. But the so the Premium is the only truck that is available in the Renault series as a beginner. And one more thing I wanted to go over and I didn't, and I apologize, so let me put this in as a little add-on at the end. The Mercedes, it's smaller fuel tank, significantly smaller fuel tank, 600 liters versus 1200, 1400, versus a much larger fuel capacity on every other truck. The only reason it comes in above the Stralis to me is that it's just overall stronger. Its gearing is not that great as well with its base transmission, so you'll be sucking down more fuel if you're doing a lot of highway cruising, which means you're going to be stopping more often to put more fuel. But just the fact that it can tow better in lower gears and get you moving better and not suffer as much on hill climbs and is actually more stable than the Stralis, that's what puts it ahead. It could actually be pretty close between the Stralis and the Mercedes, but those factors put the Mercedes ahead of the Stralis as far as I'm concerned. So just wanted to tack that on there before I forgot. But anyways, folks, that's going to be me done for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I've been enjoying bringing it to you. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. There will be links down below for my Facebook and my Twitter if you want to follow me there. Otherwise, this is going to be one big bugger. I'm going to be signing out. I'll see you then.